Hey everybody, happy Sunday. It is December. I think the last time we spoke, it was still November. There's lots of snow out on the ground. It's finally beginning to feel like Christmas. That may be because we watched Noel and Claus, which if you haven't seen those, that'll definitely, I hope, get you in the Christmas spirit. But it's time for more sketches. This one's kind of a short one because I've actually been taking a lot longer on pieces. So I haven't been like busting out a lot of just straight practice. I've actually been trying to just make pieces, and that I'm slow to be quite honest about that. So you're gonna see actually a lot of what is just more completed stuff, and hopefully down the road I'll get faster at just developing full pieces. So I actually did have some practice on the reverse side of the sketch, but for December I told myself I would do a new kind of prompt thing for myself. And I've been drawing reindeer girls, so all with the kind of Christmas theme, looking a lot of like, what are some kind of sexy cute outfits for winter and Christmas theme. So I had this one. I actually did end up transferring this one and tracing it onto an actual cardstock piece, so I have that one out as a piece, and then I'm actually gonna probably do a digital of it as well, because I think that'd be fun just to have Christmas cards, as a few people pointed out to me. That would be pretty fun, because on the reverse side, you remember we have Gloria, who you'll see later in this piece, because I ended up transferring that one digitally and completing it, and it turned out really, really nice. So on this side, I actually have to slide it over a little bit. Had some more sketches where I was just practicing a lot more bodies and stances. I draw this pose too much just from the front and don't really change up like how hands and arms are working. Here again, I was just drawing something and it turned into Captain Marvel. So it was an attempt. It was an attempt at the least. Then as we move on, I was going back to more faces, to a lot more faces. And just trying to warm up for the day, and after I warm up I can do things. Apparently I can nail a 3/4 with the mohawk. I didn't have any markers to kind of jazz it up, so I just did the column in blue pencil behind her, and it kind of reminds me of my I'm trying to think, I had my warlock or my hunter in Destiny, wasn't awoken with the giant mohawk, so I might digitize that one as well. And then sliding over this way, I wanted to just work on, like, if I am going to keep that kind of front view of a person, I wanted to jazz it up a bit. Just kind of did a sexy pose with the shoulders up and everything. You can see the kind of lace on the bra and then the shirt coming across the shoulders, but that shoulder being super high up. And I'm realizing now that I should probably start drawing on angled surfaces as opposed to just flat like right now, because that kind of can change your perspective, and it's kind of hard to do a horizontal flip on hard paper like you can in digital, because I found lots of like little things where I'm like, oh, that doesn't look quite right, so can't really get away with it on that one. Now for this next piece, I was super happy with after I got some inking done, was Dasher, just because I was actually trying to go with doing each of the 12 reindeer, and so I kind of went literal with calling Dasher, so she's kind of dashing. This pose obviously needs a little bit of work, but I'm happy with it, especially after I kind of took some advice from some of the videos of watching Jim Lee draw. If you haven't seen those on YouTube, go watch those, where he talks about inking is just, be more free with it, just pretend you're drawing with the pen, so you don't have to stick exactly with the pencil lines I had, which was fun. And then I just went in and actually just took my larger brush pen and just went in with it. I'm still not courageous enough to just dip a paintbrush into some ink yet, but maybe we'll do that down the road. And I may color in like the top of the skirt and the kind of shawl in red just to make it pop a little bit. And then maybe I'll take some brown or a reddish brown for the hair and color in the antlers too. But I had a lot of fun with that. And then I got some notes to myself on actually what needed to change, which I can probably do as well when I digitize it, or if I digitize it. Reading whole torso needs to be larger, because that waist is tiny. And then I can fix it digitally and maybe shift the body to face more forward, so as in 3/4 more towards the right side of the page, as in her left shoulder, turning more where we wouldn't see it, so it would actually be behind her, and then shifting the whole face also to be more 3/4 to the left, her left, not our left. And then again, I mentioned Jim Lee just now, and I did a little thing using some of his kind of idea of following lines from the back of the neck to make the spine curling up towards the pelvis, and then the following line just going over the chest. And then I just kind of went for it and just did my own little Iron Fist, because I'm still kind of sad of what they did to him in the TV universe, as opposed to like his comic book origins and everything, which is pretty dope. Then we move on to slightly spicier, and this is probably as spicy as it's going to get for what I can show y'all. Working on a piece for a D&D character for one of the players I DM for, and they wanted a pinup of their character. This is definitely unfinished, but I actually digitized this one already, and I'm working on this. But this is their barbarian Pyla, and yeah. So just kind of just roughing it out as just a basic idea. I didn't even do like a second one. I could have done a second one here. And they're a halfling, so torso's too big, so I ended up shrinking, just moving down and making sure things were appropriately proportioned there. And then on this side where you can see there's paper clipped art and things blocking this. You'll see why in a second. But saw some practice online that people were doing on figuring out torsos and hips that I was really liked how they thought about it. So I was trying to sketch my own and kind of follow their patterns, which is really a neat way to go. You don't have to like do a whole drawing, but like I need to start doing more practice where I just think little bits like, oh yeah, is that how the torso works? And how does it work if we have wider hips, or you have higher hip bones or lower? Do they protrude at all? Can you do a side kick, with like the torso bent? You have the stabilizing leg there, the kicking leg here. How does it crunch into the body? Wider hips and everything happening this way. And then I was actually just working on this next piece, literally just before I decided to record today. And you can't see all of it because, well, not safe for work. So you guys can see some of it. I was doing a pinup of a character from Zelda, so that's about as much as I can show you. You can imagine the rest or fill in the rest. But yeah, and then unfortunately, in the middle of all this, the marker started to run dry, and I should have started with the face, so we had the face done. But that was a mistake. But we'll see if we can salvage that marker. Might have a few ideas, or just buy a new marker. And the colors are definitely off because Princess Hilda's hair is not that purple, but I was working just with what I have because, it'd be nice to have the whole range of Copic markers, but that's super expensive. But that's what we got for in the sketchbook for right now, because I actually started this on the 13th. But now I actually get to show y'all some of the digital pieces I've worked on so far this month, which have actually, that's what's been eating up a lot of my time and not all of my time in the sketchbook. But you get to see some of that now too. So one of the things I actually just started drawing for myself, and this was actually pretty funny. I had a friend that was like, "Are you working on anything that nobody's seen?" And I had to think about that really hard because I'm still at that point where I like to share everything I do. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is nice to maybe just do things for yourself. So I started just randomly drawing that night, and then I showed Zoe because, well, like I said, I have trouble not sharing work, and she said it reminded her of Sailor Jupiter, so I decided to actually go with it, and then just went like the total, hey, how do we make this character obviously stand out as being that character? So I just pulled the two colors that were prominent on her, which was the pink bow normally on the sailor outfit, and the green eyes, made the green fingernail paint, the green jeans or pants, maybe not necessarily jeans, but I kind of drew them like jeans, and then put the symbol behind her, which I confused as a number 4 because apparently I don't know my astrological sign. But yeah, I went with that, and then converted it into also having a bright pink background, which I kind of like, and just to kind of change it up instead of just having a solid white background. And I'll probably go back and I'll actually draw her in the her actual Sailor Scout outfit too, which I think will be pretty neat. And hopefully this will be the start of me doing the whole run of the Sailor Scouts. And then the last thing I ended up doing for this month is actually one you saw earlier and in our last video, was I did a complete sketch for Gloria, my OC, and it turned out really great. Spent like a couple days working on this, doing shading, highlights, and everything, just for going like the alluring, kind of sultry Merry Christmas from her. So worked on this one, had a lot of fun. I see mistakes still, even now, but I'm happy with it. It was a good challenge for myself to do a complete or semi-complete rendering for that drawing. So I think that's everything we have for now. So I want to just say thank you for watching the video. And if I don't hear from you before that time, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and even have a Happy New Year. And we'll see you again, hopefully in 2020, with even more sketches. So remember, no matter what you do, who you talk to, what gives you open, what art you decide to create, I hope you do it with a smile.